Hey guys, we got to Orlando today and we left Denver at midnight last night, so we didn't land until what would be 6 a.m. here, 4 a.m. in Colorado. So we didn't get any sleep, but we decided to just try to stay awake as long as we could. Went to breakfast, came to the hotel to see if they would let us check in, even though it was like 8 in the morning by then. But of course, check-in was at 4 p.m. and we had not slept. Dan slept maybe 30 minutes on the plane. I definitely didn't sleep at all. I just watched a couple movies. So by the time we got here, we were just so tired. So we went to the Disney boardwalk and just walked around the lake or the pond, whatever it is. And by the time we did one lap, it was starting to get warm outside and we needed to get some water. So we went back to the car to get our water bottles and then we just wanted to sleep. So we drove the car back to the hotel and parked it. We're like, we're just gonna wait outside the hotel and just sleep in the car until they text us, because at this point it was probably like 10 or 11 and we tried so hard to fall asleep in the car. It was miserable. If the car was off, we were too hot and sweaty, and like if the car was on, then it would kind of get too cold. So if we look like crap, sorry, we just probably slept maybe an hour or two in the car. And if you could only smell us, we turned off the car a couple times and I would just wake up just sweating. So I think a good shower will be nice. Anyway, we got the text at 1 and we're able to finally check in. So I'm gonna hurry and give you guys the tour of the room. So I'm facing the window right now, which is a great view of the parking lot. So we've got the couch, table, bed, you know, it's got a little mini fridge over here, closet, really nice big mirror, and the lights are pretty decent in here. Nice big tub, not that I would take a bath in a hotel. It's not like super nice, but it's also not horrible. So this is just the beginning of our trip. The whole trip is supposed to be all inclusive, so technically the way that this works is all the food should be included, and then like water and hot tea, and then if we want like any sodas or any alcoholic drinks, we buy those, but we don't really drink. Now Dan will have to worry about the soda because he probably wants some soda.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't drink soda.
We didn't realize when we bought it, but it's like a timeshare thing, and we found out when we went on our Mexico trip, which was the bonus trip for buying this trip. So this whole trip we paid for, along with the Bahamas cruise coming up in a few days. But part of the deal is you have to go to a timeshare meeting. So apparently they give you like a cheaper price. Now we're really gonna see if the timeshare thing is worth the torture, because that's all it is. That's all timeshare meetings are, is torture. So we're committed to 2 hours of a timeshare meeting tomorrow. Bright and early, 8 a.m. We decided to choose the earlier time so that way we have the rest of the day, because we only have today and tomorrow that are our full days that we can enjoy Orlando if we choose to. So it's only 2 nights here, and then we have to drive down to Palm Beach, and that's where we take the cruise. So tomorrow will be our only day, because today's kind of like wasted just because we're so zombied out and tired. So I'm gonna call the front desk and I'm gonna ask them about the all-inclusive and how that works. Okay, so I just got off the phone with the front desk, and well, the phone here isn't working, which they're sending someone up to fix it. And so I had to call the front desk for my cell phone. But anyway, there must be a language barrier, which I'm guessing she speaks Spanish and I speak Spanish. So worst case scenario, we'll resort to having her explain what she was saying to me in Spanish, because we're gonna have to go down there and clarify. But my patience is probably a little bit thin, and so is Dan's, because we haven't slept very well. But I had her on speaker, so it wasn't just me, because sometimes I can't think very clearly when I'm tired. But so I had it on speaker so Dan could hear. Maybe together we equal one normal thinking brain. I don't know. They didn't give us any information on the all-inclusive part, so I was just trying to figure out, where do we go? Is there specific times? And I feel like she didn't answer the question. So it was frustrating, because when I got off the phone, I was like, was that just me, or did she literally just talk us in a circle and not say anything that we just asked? Now we're gonna have to go back down there and wait in the line to talk to her, because there's people checking in right now. Like, at least we made it into our room, so if we want to sleep more, that's great. But we're gonna go back down there and we're gonna ask her again and see if she, well, they're about to fix our phone. Oh man. He literally like knocked and just tried to walk in. And I'm like, that could have been awkward because, I mean, we were expecting someone to come up, but, and then he apologized and he was like, oh, sorry, I didn't know anyone was here. He probably just thought he was doing a maintenance check, you know? Turns out the phone actually did work. It just, there was a little side button that needed to be pushed. Apparently we don't know how to work technology, old technology, because as soon as I saw him push that side button, I was like, it has nothing saying to push that, but that's all it needed. So apparently we're not the brightest, but easy fix. And luckily they didn't catch one of us naked in the room. But okay, next mission, going downstairs and talking to this lady. So here we go. Okay, so that was me trying to call the company that we booked our reservations through. The one that sold us this whole week and everything. We're not hard people to please, I really don't think. I don't know, I like things to go the way that I'm told. So we just found out, we went down to the front desk and the lady, once again, didn't really know what we were talking about. I think that's why she was so confused when we were on the phone with her. So we just made it very simple. I asked her, is our reservation all inclusive? And she said, all that I do is give you guys the room. You guys booked it through the Welcome Center, which is the company attached to the company that sold us the reservation. So we went back to the Welcome Center and asked them, and they told us that they no longer do all inclusive. So what happened is that they used to do all inclusive in the reservations that they would do, and now they no longer do it. Meaning, when I bought this trip, it was a couple of years ago, we weren't able to take the trip, so I filed 2 different extensions. Now, filing 2 different extensions means I paid $150, $170, I don't remember exactly, each time I had to extend my reservation. So not only did I purchase all-inclusive, I paid extra money because it expired by a certain day. So I had to take the vacation by, we'll say you buy it June 2016, you have to take it by June 2017 type thing. But then if you don't take it by June 2017, you have to, before that date, pay for an extension. Otherwise, your whole trip goes to waste. You don't get a refund. All your money just gets lost. So because of that, and I knew it was already too late to get a refund, I paid for the extensions because I was like, well, we want to take this trip. Now, all of a sudden, there's no food included. There's extra expenses now. So don't get me wrong, we can pay for food, but we paid for food already. So the Welcome Center told us, they're like, well, you can call them back and see if they'll give you a refund of some sort. I'm like, it's been years. I don't think that they'll do any form of refund. So I'm trying to get a hold of them. It just disconnects. So that's the option when you call them and you say that you're already on vacation and need assistance. It disconnects. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to call for reservations and see if it actually goes to a person, because maybe they're like, oh, you're already on vacation, bye, like, you're screwed. Man, this is not a good start. It's just not a good start. I'm sorry, I look so tight. Look at this line. This is that line that I got from doing the fat transfer. Like, the fat stayed there, and then I have this line here, and you can totally see it right now. I'll have to fix it with filler. And I'm just so tired. It's just like accentuating everything. I'm gonna try calling them again. But apparently they were saying something about on the boat, the food's included.
Yeah.
But once you get to the island, then you're on your own. Oh, and even, okay, when they made my reservation, this was probably my fault though. I will claim responsibility for this part. We didn't put the specific time that I was flying in and flying out from the trip. The company was gonna pay for the rental car for the whole time that I'm out here. But because they defaulted the time to arriving at noon and leaving at noon, and we arrived at 6 a.m. and are dropping off the car at like 9 p.m. or 7 p.m., they charged us for an extra day, which came out of our pocket. So it's just from the very beginning, money's been coming out that shouldn't have been coming out. I should have probably called the company once I booked my flight and had them adjust that time. I just didn't think about it. I figured that they would like bill them, but they already had the reservation. They have like a voucher when they pull up your name. So this has been fun. I'm just gonna make the best of it, I guess. Here, I'll face this way so you guys don't have to stare at my horrible face wrinkle. But yeah, really bad start to the week. I'm gonna try to call the company again. I'm gonna try to push a different option.
Our most popular
This one will probably go through to a representative because I've actually listened to this whole spiel multiple times when I had to book the reservation and everything. But the fact that the option that I need right now disconnects is very concerning. So when we purchased this whole package, they took all of our information, right, put us in the system. I started getting phone calls all the time. I don't like to answer my phone when it's a phone number that I don't recognize, but it was just like all the time I would get random phone calls. And so I decided to finally answer because it was like a certain phone number that was just calling me nonstop. And so I finally answer and I'm like, can I help you? And they tell me that I'd purchased a trip and that it was not based on double occupancy, that it was only based on single occupancy, and that if I wanted double occupancy, I would have to pay extra, and that the company that I'd purchased it through was no longer a company, so that they were taking over all the accounts and whatever. So anyways, this whole spiel, and they tell me that I owe them $1,000. And at this point, I was like, I've already paid them. So I was like, I don't think that's correct. I already purchased my trip, and they told me, I wrote down every single detail. I knew it was double occupancy, just like I knew that this was supposed to be all inclusive. Like, I wrote everything down, and I was so mad. I was like, how about I keep that $1,000 and I use it to pay a lawyer to sue you guys because I'm not giving you guys a single dollar more. And the guy like freaked out and hung up. And so I called the company back. I called the same phone number that called me, and I get a different person, and I'm like, what is this whole thing that I'm getting about owing more money and something about a different company taking over because the company that sold us isn't like doing it anymore? And they're like, oh no, they're like, we're so sorry about that. We've been hearing that a lot lately. It's actually like some kind of a scammer that's like hacked into the system or something, into the phone numbers. Tried to dial number 5 and it disconnects, so hopefully you're able to help me. When I purchased the Florida vacation, it was supposed to be all inclusive. I was told that the Orlando portion and the Fort Lauderdale and the Bahamas part would all be all inclusive, so the food would be included, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So now I'm actually on my trip. I just arrived to Orlando, and they're telling me that it used to be that way, but it's no longer. Can you help me with this?
Thank you. Just one moment. I'll review the notes and I'll be right back with you.
Okay. At least it seems like she's able to help with something.
Yeah.
Thank you for holding.
Yes.
Excuse me. I do apologize for the delay. So I'm showing that you're checked in to the Park Inn by Radisson,
Yes.
which is a premium resort, and they don't provide meals. They do offer the meal vouchers because your initial vacation package for the standard resort, which is the Ramada, included the meals, but because the Park Inn does not include meals, they do offer meal vouchers, and you would pay the difference.
Okay, so how do we get the meal voucher? We asked the Welcome Center, and they said that they used to offer the all-inclusive, but they no longer do it, and that we could call you guys and see what you guys do about it, but they didn't really give us any options like that.
Just one moment.
Well, we might be getting somewhere. But yeah, either way, someone had hacked into their system and was trying to scam people out of thousands of dollars. Like, how many people are they calling, telling them that they need to pay $1,000, and for what? What if I'd fallen for it and paid another $1,000? So that was the first thing that left a sour taste in my mouth with the company. But when you call them and you talk to them, they seem very helpful. This is definitely a step that we shouldn't have to take while we're on vacation.
Thank you for calling the local center of Orlando.
Looks like we got redirected.
Yeah, what the hell?
But we just called the company, and when I explained to them the food situation, they told us that the vouchers are included, and then they just redirected me to you. So I'm confused. A lot of runaround. So she's checking right now. But this should all be ready. This should be something that when we stop through the Welcome Center, they should have already had ready for us, not me having to call the company, have to ask the front desk, have to like run around in a circle. Because when we went down there and asked this after, just recently, they said that we had to buy those vouchers. Now when I called the company, they said that it should be included and replaced for that because but we have to pay the difference. So if like we spend more than the voucher, then we pay the difference, which makes sense. But as long as something's included because we paid for it, you know, it makes sense, right? So we'll see what they say because it'd be nice if this was all a big misunderstanding and we don't have to spend extra money on food if we don't want to. You know, like if we want to go eat somewhere else, cool. If we don't like the food here, then great, you know, but like I don't want to have to when we paid for the food. Okay, so they got back on the phone, but for some reason they couldn't hear me, but they said go back down there because our package did come with meal vouchers. Like, was it necessary? It's been over an hour. We've spent over an hour on the phone. You guys have been with us the whole time. So here we go. We are going down now and picking them up. And then we'll see. This was probably just all a big mistake. So, I mean, you know, really nice view here out this window.
This is the beautiful 1980s themed restaurant that we get to eat at. It is just a theme. It's not actually, you know, it doesn't need redesigning. This is how they wanted this, you know? The wicker
Oh my gosh.
checkerboard chairs.
Okay, we got it all sorted out, I think. They did give us the vouchers but man, that was quite the runaround. So I don't know where the confusion came in, but finally once we called and they told us to go back down there, they're like, yeah, your reservation does come with vouchers. We literally came to you guys 2 different times, asked the front desk, had to call the company. I feel like they avoid giving out those vouchers if they can get away with it or something. But also I need to keep in mind that we did purchase this vacation a couple of years ago. So things are probably different and it probably doesn't come included anymore and people probably have to pay for those vouchers when they check in. I don't know, but holy cow. So now we get to wait about an hour and then we're able to go down for dinner and we'll see what the next thing is because the voucher only goes to a certain amount. I just have no idea what we're gotten into. So I think we're getting there. I don't know, like the more I think about it, I'm like the Mexico trip was a little bit more fun, but it's only our first day and I'm just probably tired and we'll see what we're dealing with down there.